Okay. So let us start. Now, for EJB, there may be a question, what is EJB? You can define it as per the textbook. As I've told you, it's a component of J2EE architecture that primarily provides business logic to the J2EE application and interacts with the server-side components. The server side is important because we are defining enterprise Java Bean and not the normal Java Bean. Fine. So let us see now what are the, here we can also uh, yeah, when to use enterprise Java Beans. When the application needs remote access. Normally, whenever we are accessing from the remote machine, that means whenever there is a communication between the two machines which are located remotely, we make use of EJB because the interaction between those two machines and interaction with the database will be complicated. Uh, then application needs to be scalable. Suppose sometimes in the application we require increasing and number of load. So in that case, we can make use of that, or it will have a clustering. So in the networking chapter, I was also telling you that one IP address can be related, one particular web host name can be related to multiple machines. So nowadays there is in data mining, there is one concept where the servers store their information in multiple machines. So whenever any information is asked, these techniques, or you can say this kind of technique is called as clustering. So these techniques will automatically know in which part of the program. It is similar to when you have only one cupboard, you know everything is kept there. When you have multiple cupboards, like a library, you should know where exactly the information is stored. You know, in library management, they will teach even these techniques, that how the books have to be arranged so that you can fetch the exact book within no time. So similarly in clustering, all this kind of things are there, that from where to fetch, how those data are stored in different clusters. So during that time, it is advisable to use enterprise Java Bean. Then what are the types? Yeah, application needs encapsulated business logic. So normally in case of encapsulation means what? Hidden code. Whenever application needs some secure code, which it doesn't want to keep it accessible. So in that case, we can make use of this EJB. What are the types? So this is very important and it is part of your syllabus also. There are basically three types. Among those three, again, the first type is divided into three types. So what is that first type? It is called as a session based. All of you know what is mean by a session. Like for example, even in Zoom now, in our today's Zoom class, we finished one session and now I have started another session. So session means session bean. So whenever we talk about a bean which is of the type session, it stores data of a particular user for a single session. So whenever, suppose now any one of you, suppose Aditi has joined this session. For this session, if I have stored Aditi's data somewhere, I'm storing only for this session, then it is called as a session bean. It can be stateful or stateless. Again, in there are two types. What are those two? Stateful and stateless. So let us see what is meant by stateful. Stateful session bean means, stateless means it does not maintain state of a client between multiple method calls. Like in my last session, what I did, it may not have any information in this session. This is called a stateless. So suppose now what I do whenever I join this Zoom, I do the setting that other students should be muted and they should not unmute themselves to avoid disturbance. I do that. So what happens is whenever I've done it for my last class, again for this class I had to do it again. That means what? Whatever state changes I did to my Zoom settings in my last session, they are not retained here. Again I have to do that. So my state information is lost. So this kind of information is called a stateless session bean. So session bean, now when I've done the setting that my recording should be on and my all the participants should be muted, this is going on for this session, but it will not be preserved for the next session. So this is called as a stateless session bean. Now, what is meant by stateful session bean? Stateful means what? It maintains the state of a client across multiple requests. So suppose now my meeting ID and my password is common. So whenever you log in, it is maintaining the same meeting ID and password. So this you can consider as an example for stateful session bean, that for my multiple session, for my Vaishali's multiple session, the same meeting ID and password is being retained. So it uh, will be done through stateful session beans. Then there is singleton session bean. Singleton session bean means it is not related to one particular user. Now the stateless and stateful are normally related to a particular user, especially stateful will be related to one particular client. So whenever it has stored one sessions, like I am one particular client, so my information will be stored for my next session also. This is called as stateful. So stateful will be related to one session, whereas stateless will be not related to one particular client. So similarly, the singleton session bean also, it will be one instance per application. So it will store the information per application. In the sense what? Right now I started the session. In my session, I have Word going on, then there is PowerPoint also. So for Word, one kind of session bean will be created, that is called a singleton. So for PowerPoint, for the same session, it may create another session bean, which is called, so such session beans which are once per application, this is called as singleton session bean. Now, normally session beans are non-persistent in nature. Some kind of persistency. Persistency means lasting of the information, storing of the information. So some kind of persistency is there in case of stateful session bean. Stateless at least is non-persistent. The data will get lost immediately, isn't it? But here in case of entity bean, what happens is the data will be stored quite permanently, or it is called as persistently. So entity beans, how are they defined? Remember that each of this type may be asked for 2 marks. Entity beans represent a persistent data storage. User data can be saved to database via entity beans and later on can be retrieved from the database in the entity bean. So entity bean is persistent in nature. So whenever a user wants to store, persistent means it is permanent in nature. It can even store it in a database and retrieve it back next time. State, so here session bean ka stateful information is there, that doesn't go to the database. It will be stored in the intermediate location somewhere, and compared to entity beans, it is less persistent in nature, whereas entity beans is guaranteed or assured persistent data. We can attach it to the entity bean. Now, third type is message driven bean. It is exclusively for message transmission. So message driven beans are used in context of JMS, which is called a Java messaging service. Message driven beans can consume JMS messages from external entities and act accordingly. So it is specialized for message driven. So it is not for SMS, but whenever a Java messaging you want to do in between the machines which are connected through network, we make use of message driven bean. So benefits of EJB are simplified development of large scale enterprise level applications. So as you all know that how functions can make your programs easy to understand or simplified. Similarly, EJB can make development of the program simple. Application server or EJB container provides most of the system level services like transaction handling, logging, load balancing, persistent mechanism, exception handling, and so on. Developer has to only focus on business logic of the application. So when you write EJB, you are free from the presentation logic. This is one of the important. Presentation logic is separated from the application logic or the business logic. EJB container manages life cycle of EJB instances. Thus, developer need not worry about when to delete or uh, when to create or delete EJB objects. So these are some of the advantages. So when they ask normal question for normal question, when it is asked, they will normally ask about a stateful session and a stateless. So they will ask you to differentiate. Stateful is a type of enterprise bean which preserves the conversational state with the client. A stateful session bean, as per its name, keeps associated client state in its instance variable. So it will store in an instance variable, not in a database. Entity bean stores it in a database. EJB container creates a separate stateful session bean to provide clients each request. So for each client, there will be a separate session bean. As soon as request scope is over, stateful session bean is destroyed. So sometime when the client doesn't want to store it anymore, it will get destroyed. Or when the client logs off or client is no more connected, it will automatically be destroyed. Stateless session bean is a type of enterprise bean which is normally used to perform independent operation. Stateless session bean, as per its name, does not have any associated client state, but it may preserve its instance state. Instance state in the sense, yeah, anyway, so you just write that it may not have any associated client state. EJB container normally creates a pool of few stateless beans objects and use these objects to process client requests. So they are like reusable kind of because they are not related to one particular client. So whichever clients are associated for them, it will go on working. Now, there'll be another question. Last time it was asked, what are EJB interfaces? So there are two types of interfaces. You can see in this diagram, there are two EJBs which are communicating with each other, which are from the two machines. So there are two kinds of interfaces. One is remote and second is the local interface. Remote interfaces are those which access some other machines data, and local interfaces are those which access the same machine's data. When the database is stored on the same machine, then it makes use of local interface. When the database is at the remote machine, then it will have remote interface. So this was one of the important question. Then sometime they will ask you one more question for 2 marks, that what is deployment descriptor? So remember, I will add it in the notes. That's why this EJB notes I have already sent, but once again I'm going to send it tomorrow or day after. So in this I will add 2-3 definitions more which were asked last time. So I'm going to cover all the definitions from the important parts in the chapter. No need of covering it in detail. So there was one definition asked which is called as deployment descriptor. So when we created our web-based applications in our previous chapters, in the units, I have already told you when we created servlet program. So there was in that, when you created a class, there was one part in which you had to check one checkbox. So there down it was there, deployment descriptor. What is mean by deployment descriptor? Deployment descriptor is one XML file which stores your information of connection, from which environment to which environment you are connecting. So it is related to EJB also, that whether you are connecting from one machine or whether you are connecting to a remote machine, all this information is stored in that XML file which is called as deployment descriptor. So what happens is, deployment descriptor, how does it help? Suppose you have the same kind of calculation. Now you just want to, whatever, suppose I am teaching you, for example, if the same session I have to conduct for 4B, what I can do is the same recording, I can just redirect it to 4B. That means what? I need not give the entire session again. Whatever is there, I have given to you, same thing, I will redirect to 4B. Similarly, deployment descriptor helps me just to change 2-3 lines of the program, and then the same program can be used for another machine also. So this is how deployment descriptor helps us to make minimum changes and reuse the application once again, or connect that application to some other machine. Then there was one more, yeah, these interfaces were asked. So I will add this diagram also. Actually, this diagram is not of exactly interfaces, but just to show you that which is home interface and which is remote interface. Fine. So home interfaces are here and remote interfaces will be connected to the remote machine. That's all. Yeah. And then there were two more definitions called as what is C data. C data stands for character data. Then there was one more definition. I'll just check from the question paper and then I will just uh, add it to the notes. So anyways, so as far as this EJB is concerned, you need not get frightened, because we all have already told to the examiner, because it is beyond the scope of the student, but already it is very vast advanced Java syllabus, and again we cannot cover this too much in detail. So I think this much whatever I have covered is sufficient. Extra some important definition I'll be adding to the notes. So whatever I have covered so far, I hope at least the journal program I have also demonstrated you. Some of the simple programs, if you want to again execute, I will just send those programs in a separate file. So I hope all of you have understood whatever I have covered. I see very less number of students. I know maybe, yeah, everyone should have interest. So anyways, any doubt so far? I know the last part is too much complicated and it was too much in detail. It's quite difficult for you to grasp it at the same time.
ती बाई एवढं लावून गॅस समोर गेली म्हणजे केवढं लावली असेल ग ती.
So what I'm going to do, I'm just muting you all, allowing you people to unmute yourself for a minute. I hope the session was clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, fine. So as you all can see that advanced Java is quite in detail. I mean, it is quite vast. Please start studying. Don't never know when the exams will be announced. As far as BCA, don't be under the impression that there are some, I don't know whether it is a fact or rumor, people are spreading the syllabus will be decreased, question paper will be very easy, or the exams will be, very, very easily conducted. May not be the same case for BCA, because before the lockdown started, already the question papers were revised and already they were finalized. So anyway, you people should be ready to attempt the maximum questions. Study, at least knowledge point of view, please study. If you have any doubt, we are here anytime, you can contact. Anyway, so on demand we can also have some doubt clearing session. So now let us wind up. So thank you very much for your cooperation. So
ma'am, these notes you are going to give, weekly EJB notes?
yeah, EJB notes I'll be forwarding once again. I have to just finalize. Maybe by tomorrow I'll be sending.
Okay, ma'am.
What about the programs? I don't remember whether I've given you those JDMC programs which I have modified, like simpler programs.
Ma'am, they may
Just
be there
check.
in the
Yeah, they are
okay,
not part of the notes. Just check. Otherwise, I'll be sending that in a separate document. Only the programs of JDBC.
Okay.
Fine. Yeah. Ask everybody about whether at least journal programs they have done, because they should be ready for practicals. Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let us stop now.